Finally, it's here. I'm making a new video after 9 months. Yes, I know it's a pretty long time. And this is a video I'm pretty hyped about. As you can see, we are in FIFA Manager 2022. This is actually the FIFA Manager 13, however fans have updated. And let me tell you, I'm pretty hyped. But one or two things before we start. I'm going to delete Mason Greenwood because of obvious reasons, and he is kinda OP in FIFA Manager and it would be a bit weird. I hope you can understand this. Yeah, forget what I just said. I don't know what went wrong, but he is still in the game, so I'm very sorry about that one. I also slightly edited one or two parameter files, but I don't think they made that much of a difference. But maybe one or two players are better than they should be. And now we can finally talk about what I'm going to do. The Premier League in 2072. I have already done this with the Bundesliga on my German channel, and the English system in FIFA Manager is actually a bit larger, so this might be very interesting. I am also going to simulate reserve leagues, so that this can be as close to real life as possible. And I'm not going to choose any team, so this should be 100% fair for everyone. If you played FIFA Manager back in the day, the graphics might look a bit weird to you, but I love this new dark mode. It's a bit weird at first, but I love it now. Here you can see a bit of an overview if you haven't played it in a long time. I think the designing team did a really good job. I'm just going to simulate the 50 years, and let's see what happens. I, by the way, prefer the simulation to the Football Manager one, as the Football Manager one is painfully slow in comparison. Also, I only simulated the English leagues, so English teams will basically win any international trophy. F in the chat for my PC who had to simulate this over last night. Before we are going 50 years in the future, we are actually going to this season, as I want to show the Premier League in steps of 10 years. I haven't looked at the table so far, and I really hope it isn't too weird, as normally FIFA Manager is really good at this, and I just hope it doesn't look bad. Brentford in last place. However, call me crazy, but I actually think this is quite okay. I know we have Leeds in 8th, but this is a database from the start of the season, so I think this isn't as bad as you think. Like in real life, Liverpool and Man City had a tight race for the title, while pretty much dominating the league. However, Liverpool won this time. United was better in real life, and Chelsea gets the last Champions League spot. After that we got Tottenham, Leicester and Arsenal. Newcastle barely survived, just because of the better goal difference, and Brentford managed to only win 2 games all season. Liverpool also demolished Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final. No, I have no idea how they got there. But even crazier, they obliterated Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. Okay. And in this universe they actually won a quadruple, defeating the Citizens. Yes, Harvey Elliott and James Milner scored. Okay. Atalanta managed to win the Europa League in another high-scoring final, the only competition not won by an English team, as Leicester got destroyed in extra time, and Tottenham actually managed to do something in the Conference League. They were able to defeat Celta Vigo in the final. Have fun in the Europa League, where you already qualified for. And if you're interested, here we have the championship. Here we can see who is top scorer. And okay, this went really unrealistic really fast. 33 goals of Lukaku in 32 games. That is one of the best seasons I've ever seen. And Lukaku did it of all people. The Ballon d'Or was won by Messi. I'm just glad nobody broke a 50-year-long record that season, as that would lead the football community to look very stupid. I'm sure the community would actually be pretty outraged. Wait a minute. Welcome to the year 2032. 10 years in the future and the results are very interesting. Yes, I know Swindon Town is in 6th, but let's start at the top of the table. They were at a classic two-way race, and ultimately United beat Liverpool. In 3rd and 4th we got Man City and Leicester, followed by Swindon and Chelsea. Swindon started in League 2 and slowly made their way up. But even crazier, we also have Cheltenham Town, and they got all the way up from the 6th tier. That journey is pretty insane. They weren't even close to relegation. Huddersfield, Swansea and Bristol Rovers got relegated. I also found one or two interesting things. The first is a fact I absolutely love, as United of Manchester won League 2. Meanwhile, Barnsley got relegated out of the National League North. I think that means they will play in the 7th tier next season. That's pretty bad. And I also found this team that doesn't even have a badge. Yes, as you can see, this might get very weird. In the FA Cup final, United beat Wolves. And of course, Greenwood had to score. I looked up what happened and he was a free agent for some reason at the start. He then went to PSG, which is somehow fitting, and then United had to buy him. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. Swindon Town tastes Carabao Cup glory, beating Leicester. However, the Foxes didn't remain trophyless, as they won the Champions League. Spurs again not being able to win a trophy, although they won the title in the last season, so I maybe shouldn't say anything. Liverpool won the Europa League, and I have absolutely no idea why they were there. I mean, Ødegaard and Ansu Fati scored for them. Shouldn't that be enough to be constantly in the Champions League? And I think the Premier League isn't going to get any more Austrian fans. Wolves beat Rapid Vienna. Dan Scarlett scored 40 goals this season, and I think this is the last time we will see any familiar name, as we already got whatever this one is. We are now in 2042, and I think the top half of the table actually looks pretty normal. We still have the top 6, Leicester and Swindon. Another 2 away sees Liverpool winning on the last match day, leaving Manchester United in 2nd, followed by Spurs and Chelsea and Swindon in 5th. Bournemouth, Worthing and Exeter are going down. Worthing are probably the most interesting first-tier team, but as you can see there are many former Championship, League 1 and League 2 teams. Meanwhile, Cheltenham Town has been relegated, but they will be back in the Premier next season. A team that's definitely not going to be back is Fulham. They got relegated from the National League. Okay. That's actually pretty horrible. I didn't even see it, Brighton is even lower than them. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong there. They also got relegated this season before. Chelsea won the FA Cup, and City the FA Cup beating Swindon. They also won the Champions League. In an unlikely coincidence, Liverpool won the Europa League again, however 10 years later. And in the Conference League, the wrong Spanish team won. Yes, you can see non-English teams can still win, but it's very unlikely. Can you remember the 22-year-old striker I showed you earlier? He is top scorer now, and as you can see, he had a pretty successful career, but he never won the Ballon d'Or. Before we go to 2052, I might say something else, and that's that over 95% of you haven't subscribed. So if you're enjoying this video, you should subscribe. I know I haven't uploaded in a long time, if you're ignoring the short videos, but I'm now done with school and have more time for this. And liking the video would help massively. Yes, this is a screenshot from the video last year. And you can also share this video with your friends. Welcome to 2052, and we are finally seeing some changes. United is kinda dominating at the moment. Behind him we have Liverpool, Chelsea and Swindon. Spurs are all the way down 12, placing behind Colchester and Bristol. Newcastle, Cardiff and Quarry Town will play in the Championship next season, and Forest Green will go up. I also found Southampton all the way down here. The English Southern Premier League South or something like that. Yeah, the name is a bit confusing, let's say the least. And Crystal Palace is somewhere down in the Isthmian Premier Division. The FA Cup final was pretty interesting, Swindon beating Rovers. Liverpool won the Carabao Cup, and the Champions League was won by Swindon. How Liverpool? For the 3rd time in a row in a 30-year time period, why? And the Wolves beat Inter in the Conference League final. United seems to have the best striking duo ever. Here we have Rodriguez, and he basically is the one-club man, ignoring a loan spell. And he won the Ballon d'Or 7 times. Then we got Khatay Palabaragnishman, who scores more goals than he plays games. Yes, that's pretty insane. He only won the Ballon d'Or once. And we now have 40 years in the future. United won the league in front of Liverpool, Swindon and Chelsea. We also have such teams as North Greenwood United and Redditch. Going down are Forest Green, Salford and Everton. Everton actually wasn't in the Premier League in a long time. I'm not even going to show more competitions, as we want to get to 2072. Cristiano Ronaldo is 87 years old. We have finally arrived at 2072. And I'm not even kidding, I'm exactly 69 years old. I didn't even notice that until now. And even better, what I just showed you was the 69th picture I used today. I'm not even kidding. But it's very nice. I'm actually going to show you each team in the Premier League separately, and we are starting with Wimbledon. They are going down bottom of the league. They have been somewhat of a yo-yo team, however also had a longer span in the Premier League. But as you can see, they are largely stable. So far they haven't won any title. The next team going down is Spurs Town, or at least I hope they are pronounced like that. Only 20 years ago they actually played in the National League, however they have made it into the Premier League. But after only one season, this is their 2nd relegation. As you can see, they also haven't won anything. And the 3rd relegated team is probably another one many of us haven't heard of, as this is Cheltenham Town. They actually went up from the 7th tier and had been in the Premier League for one season. This season was their 1st relegation. Unsurprisingly, they haven't won any trophy either. There are teams that are lucky, and then there's Plymouth Argyle. As you can see, they survived by one single goal. If Wolves had scored one more goal, they would have been relegated. I think that's because it's unironically ordered alphabetically after that. And P comes after D. So that's pretty insane. Plymouth very slowly went up the divisions, and they were the only promoted team not instantly getting down. The club remains trophyless. The next team is Hereford. They are in 16th place. Wait, I actually don't know how to call them. The team is called Bulls, although they have a sheep on the logo. I have no idea why. Turns out I have no idea how our bowl looks like. They played in League 1 20 years ago, but it looks like they've stabilized in the lower part of the Premier League. They too haven't won any silverware. In 15th we have our familiar face, as North Greenford United is still in the Premier League. They too had played in League 1, but now have mostly played in the Premier League. Like the others, they haven't been in Europe. And I'm starting to sound like a broken record, as they haven't won anything. And it's time to change this, as we have arrived at Sheffield United. They've been in the Premier League for the last 20 years, finishing as high as 5th, meaning they were in Europe. They have won the Conference League in 62 and 65, but this time they even finished behind Watford. Watford actually went down to League 1, but has since come back up again. 2 seasons ago they even finished 7th. However, that trend is going down a bit. They were able to win the Conference League last season. Now we have arrived at MK Dons, meaning they played kinda derbies or something with Wimbledon. You're probably aware that they were called FC Wimbledon for some time, until their owner just took the club to another city and renamed them, so I'm not the biggest fan of them being here. The Dons are another mid-table team. They at least once got into Europe, but were relegated as well. However, after just 1 season they were promoted again. Unlike teams below them, they haven't won any title, so they probably lost to another English team. Next on the list we have Leicester City. They are slowly going down, as they used to finish in the single digits, but are now more of a mid-table team. As you can see, they have a very rich history. They actually never won the Premier League again. However, they won the Champions League in 32 and 37. They got the last trophy exactly 15 years ago, as they won the FA Cup and the Europa League in the same season. One spot above them we have Cheltenham Town. They have been punching above the weight in the season. As you can see, they have been in the Premier League for the last 20 years. However, they finished 15th in the last season, and they haven't won a trophy. In 9th place we have Wolverhampton Wanderers. They used to finish in this region, have played in Europe and were never lower than 13th. Somehow they have never managed to win a domestic title, but won the Champions League in 54, as well as the Europa and Conference League a number of times. So they are better in Europe than in England. And it's finally time for the first team of the modern top 6. Just a spoiler, they are all still in the Premier League. And we are starting with Chelsea in 8th. They had been in the top 4 almost the whole time, but as you can see are falling down now, finishing in 9th place once. They have only won the Premier League twice, in 35 and 50, as well as the Champions League in 36 and 44. However, next season they will be in the Champions League again, as they were this year's Europa League winner. They haven't won a domestic title since 10 years. One spot above them we surprisingly have Crewe Alexandra. They have been in the Premier League for a long time now, and look like they are doing better and better over time. The season before they actually finished 5th. They were not able to win a domestic title, but some Europa and Conference Leagues. The first team in the top 6 is Manchester City. And surprisingly, this is quite an upset. As you can see, they were in the Premier League for a long time, but of the top 6 teams they were close to get relegated, as they were in 16th place. So it's quite surprising to see them that high. They still dominated until 2040, but in the last 30 years have only won the Carabao Cup. That's quite a downfall, if we are ignoring Europe. We have finally arrived in the top 5, and as you can see we are starting with Spurs. 20 years ago they really struggled, but have managed to get up again. They actually won the title in the early 2030s, but haven't won the Champions League, as well as a domestic title in a long time. Liverpool is the first team on the Champions League spot, finishing 4th. They have been bouncing around in the last 2 decades, finishing as runners up, and all the way down out of Europe. They have not won a title since 2044, but have won several cup competitions as late as the 2060s. Manchester United was able to get in the top 3 this season. As you can see, they have been really dominant, especially in the 50s and early 60s, winning the league 4 times in a row on 2 separate occasions. But as you can see, they have lost this position lately. And as you can see, they have won all competitions multiple times. We have finally arrived at the runners-up Arsenal. The title race this time actually wasn't even close, and the Gunners haven't won the title lately. They actually only have done it 1 time, in 2029, okay. On the contrast, they've won the Champions League 4 times, all wins in the last 15 years. That's a really interesting record. If you've paid attention, you might not be surprised by this, but in first place we don't have a top 6 team, as this is Swindon Town. They were really dominating. Since 53 they never even were out of the top 4, which is kind of an insane record. And of course they've won like every title that's possible. And finally here we have the table. This took so much longer than I expected. And I'm glad I'm finally done with this. Swindon also had the biggest transfer, as they bought a left back for over 450 million. Yeah, that's insane. They also have a squad value of over 1 trillion, I think. Yeah. Never mind, it's actually Manchester United, and only at 150 billion. But still insane. Here we have the top scorers list. Qatari Karis Al-Wasi scored most goals. As you can see, there are many countries that have players coming from the same club. This is the Qatari national team, and here we have the Chilean one. This because of the international youth camps. And here we have the top scorers of our time. And it turns out there's a bug, and players that don't have a second or first name aren't shown here. So I actually had to go through the top scorers. In third place we have Rodriguez. He is a Mexican and has got 345 goals, mostly for Man United. And yes, I looked it up to check which season counts. Then we have Parabak Nushman. The Qatari scored 376 goals and did it for United, Chelsea and Arsenal. In first place we have Medina. He is from Ecuador and has netted 384 times, doing that for Chelsea and Man City. And with that we are finally done. As you can see, this video was an insanely huge project and took me way longer than I expected. But I think it's a nice comeback. Here you can see all the files I used in this video. It's still going and it's so much. If you didn't know, I just finished school and now I have the time to do English videos. I'm actually taking a 1-year break just to do YouTube, because I'm kinda not made for a normal job and I want to build something before I go to college. And this actually makes sense, as I'm kinda translating stuff and doing things in 2 languages. And my goal is to get 10k in a German and English channel. Of course the German one's way closer and quite realistic to get 10k. I really hope you enjoyed this video and leave a like and subscribe. Here you are able to find my newest video. And if you like this one, you will probably like it as well. And you can find my community Discord in the description. But that's all for today, and I'm saying bye.